awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Does anybody else want to share like anything that just like either related to like remote teaching, like some tools that are working specifically for them? Because I think that's one of the things, I mean, everybody has different combinations of tools that they like using, but I know it's just so overwhelming. And it always seems like there's like FOMO, that there's some tool that someone else is using that you don't have. And you're like, oh, so anything anybody want to share that's working for them?
I don't think I have any like big ideas, but I did do the Desmos instead of the Google Sheets to do the regression equations. Oh, it was so much easier.
Yes.
And students were like, why couldn't we use this the whole time? I said, this is new to me. So probably next year I will. So yeah, it was great.
It's awesome. And it's free and there's just so much you can do with it.
And it works just as well on their phone as it does on the computer almost. Like somebody tried it on their phone today at the same time just to see, and it was just as good. You know what I'm going to use it for? So my students are really bad at factoring. Like I don't even want to think about factoring with them. I would have to just teach them how to factor. And I don't want to do that. That's not what we're doing here. So when I'm a week behind, I think, so we started a week after everybody else, but I think I'm on to, is it pool decks next week maybe, where there's a lot of factoring? Or something before pool decks maybe.
Are you doing Barbie Bungee before pool decks?
I'm doing Barbie Bungee right now, so maybe is that pool decks next? I think that's what I have next.
The virtual burn.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm skipping that because we lost a week.
Gotcha. I tried to do the pool decks too. Some of the images didn't come through.
But like, so when we have them wait, that's not the one. What was I looking at?
Factoring is pool decks.
Yeah, I know, but I was looking at some other assignment that has a bunch of factoring in it. I feel like I haven't looked that close at pool decks yet. I don't know what it is. I've been spending some time looking at it. I feel like popcorn. I was looking at popcorn.
Oh, okay.
Pool decks is not, popcorn is next week and pool decks is the week after that. That sounds right, doesn't it?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Popcorn. There's factoring there also. There's lots of factoring in popcorn. And my kids they're not gonna be able to factor those. I mean, the thought of saying, okay, we're gonna have to set it equal to 224 and then minus that, and now we have to factor this, but there's a common factor, and then the numbers are still pretty big, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like I don't want to use
Desmos to factor then.
Yeah, because you can like set equal. I need to open something up because
why don't you open it up and share it with us? Yeah, are you just using like the zeros to factor it?
Sorry, you guys.
Yeah, so let's see, what was I mean, I've been working on something, clearly it's in my head, but.
So while she's loading that up, I want to mention to you guys, you probably know this, but if you don't, just want you to be aware, the amount of factoring you have to do in this class is truly minimal. Like you have to do it at some point, but that like if you did a day, you can check that off. It's not like a big thing of the course. And in factoring with technology, there's no issue with doing that. So you're not like breaking the rules if you do what Erin's talking about.
Okay. So I did make an answer. See, I'm going to find that. I think I posted it also. So let me, didn't I? I did. I shared it. I already posted it in Slack, but I'm going to find it here now. Now I'm remembering. I know I was doing it this week, working on it.
While she's doing that, do the rest of you guys, do you go to the Slack channel? If you haven't been, please do, because I don't know, I know Michelle, you post things. I think Erin posts things. Other people, like they're always posting something. And then what I have Debbie do, my assistant, is I have her go through regularly and anything that's posted, add it to where all the materials are in your Almy Education course. So that, because Erin and Michelle are always adding like things that will help with remote.
Yeah, and I'm making them like literally as I go. I'm about a week ahead maybe, and that's it. So as I make them and I feel like they're reasonable, that I'm posting them. Let's see. So I found the answer key that will help me talk about what I was trying to talk about here. It's this. And I did post it in Slack yesterday maybe. But so this is what I'm talking about. So we get down to, so there's the Desmos result, which is just awesome. And it's easy. Yeah. It's easy for them to type that in, you know, y1 and then the tilde and then ax1 squared. It's easy to teach them that. And it's easy. I don't know. I really like it. But so there's the equation, and so I'm using the negative b over 2a still for the vertex, but here, no, not here. We have to plug in, but, oh, well, where is it at? This must not be the page because I'm thinking about a different day. Hold on a second. Michelle, do you know what I'm talking about? Like it's 2 and 7. Is it a different lesson? The baseball. It's the baseball one.
I was going to say, I'm in the middle of pool decks right now, and I've got all those in my brain, but yeah, so I couldn't remember. But
where's that baseball problem? What's that in?
Yeah, hold on. It's in the.
It's in popcorn prep. Never mind.
Popcorn prep. It should be day.
Here it is.
1 or 2, but I just used it, I think Excel when I did it, but I like the.
Hold on, new share. I found it. Popcorn prep key. I think that's the wrong. I did, but I posted them all. So here's this. This. Okay. Right here. For instance here.
Yeah.
For an example, like this one right here where we had to find the number of seconds, it reaches 224. So rather than create this factor, even just this one, I just was like, oh no, that's going to be a lot to get them to do all of these steps here. Why don't we just graph this function and then graph y equals 224 and look where the lines intersect, and those are the zeros.
And yes, okay, now I use Desmos for that too.
So like negative 16t squared plus 144t.
Yep.
We just do screen. That would be better. I'll go back and forth. So what was it like? Y equals negative 16t squared. Oops. Squared.
Oh, you got y minus instead of y equals.
And the slider, I was using the slider. What was it? Plus 144t. Yeah, was that it?
I've lost it.
I don't remember. Let me see. Popcorn prep key. Yeah, negative 16t squared plus 144t. And we want to find out when it's 224.
Yeah.
And then, right there. Can't see the little screen where I can, there we go. So there's the intersect.
Oh, yeah.
And it's 7 seconds. 7 to 24 is one of the points.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 is the other, 7 and 2.
Love this.
And that's way more intuitive, I think, than factoring, because they're not, these students in particular, or any students, me as a student, factoring, I could do it, but didn't feel a lot of use for it really at the time. This makes more sense. Where does it equal 224? Because we're looking
right. And actually, there is no use to it if we're actually going to be real, because this is a very contrived situation where it factors. Nothing truly real with data factors pretty. So this is so good. I love that you're doing it this way.
Yeah.
And you know what I did, Erin?
Yeah.
I used Desmos actually on this. I thought I did the other, but what I did was I took them to Desmos and I went ahead and put the 224 on the left, and I had them solve it to have 0 on the left. And then we found the zeros, which were at 2 and at 7. So that's another way to talk about it. But I also want to I like this too.
And this turns in, I did, when I was playing around with it, I guess it was earlier this week, I did do it that way first. And then I was thinking about, and I think I just ended up here. Like I thought, I felt like when I was there was still so much more to try to explain to them about zeros exactly and how that fits in the problem. And then I, again, felt kind of sick about trying to make that work and sound interesting. So then this one, I'm like, oh, that seems better in talking to my kids about it. But, and it's a slider. Like, I like that you can just change it to something else easily. I mean, not necessary, but it was fun to slide it around anyway.
Well, in this course, we're supposed to, there's a competency that has something to do with zeros and how it relates to a function. So, I mean, if you're doing this, you're hitting several things.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think, I don't know if there's anything else. I think that was the main thing here, because then this one was not terrible to factor, but didn't want to. And then I did really think hard about answering the question. I thought maybe focus a lot on the idea that it's going to reach at 2 seconds on the way up, but then again at 7 seconds on the way down, because often you think about in just math classes, like when you took math, that you just were like, it's 2 seconds and 7 seconds. Those are the answers. Do they both make sense? Is one negative? Well, I'm going to cross that one out, or whatever it is, rather than like, okay, this is what's happening on the way up and then the way down. And so I'm really focusing on this sentence is real important. This is what I tell them is some of this math is actually not as easy math for like 9th grade level math maybe, but the product that I want you to produce for me as from your assignment, the quality level of that is this 12th grade level quality. Is that what we're working on instead? Like, what does your quality answer look like?
Right.
That's how we've been focusing on some of these things. No, we haven't got to this yet, but yeah, so then Desmos so I did the factoring or the Desmos, but I'm going to do the Desmos. They were real excited about the idea of being able to use Desmos for that. So I think that's it, but I was excited about that. Here, I realized if you took the degree symbols off, you could copy and paste this into Desmos.
Okay.
If you just highlight the data, if you be careful to only highlight just the data, and I had to take the degree symbols, copy and paste, which is nice because it's kind of a lot to type in.
Yeah. Now, if you do use Excel, you can keep the degrees. It'll work with it, with the degrees as well. So, but that's good to know.
So I did that. I think I didn't type in here, but I think we're gonna have some conversation about like estimating what like the angles are gonna be or the feet based on looking at the table first and then using the technology to get the answers for that. That's how this is gonna go. Like, what do you think what numbers do you think it should be in between and why? And then we're gonna do it. I think what happened is I figured out how to do this when I got all the way down here, and then I got excited and went back and tried it on the other ones. I think that's a progression, because I think I was doing it the other way with zeros when I was, and then I got down here and I'm not sure what happened, but how I figured that out, but it did.
Yeah.
So that's that. I was excited about that.
I like that.
Yeah. It takes actually, this algebra is complicated for those students, I'd say, this particular lesson. When you get with the quadratic functions, it's a little bit beyond really what they've mastered. Mm-hmm. A lot beyond what a lot of them have mastered. And I think it's accessible here and they can really understand it. That's what I think. I mean, I didn't teach it yet, so